Hello everyone! Today I'll be retelling the movie Carol. Before watching the video, please subscribe to my channel. It will really help it grow. And now, let's get started. Early morning in New York, a bicycle glides silently over the pavement with a muffled rustle. On it is Therese, in a long coat and a soft hat, riding alongside Richard, the place where Therese works as a shopgirl. Inside the store, the atmosphere is chaotic with pre-Christmas bustle. The employees haven't yet entered the sales floor. In the cafeteria, they finish breakfast at long tables, talking and discussing plans. Therese sits apart, slightly removed from the others, watching them with a sadness that needs no explanation. Suddenly, a voice crackles over the loudspeaker. The store is opening. The workers begin to gather, the commotion growing. The hall fills with light and noise, the doors swing open, and a flood of people rushes inside. Parents with children, men in coats, women in furs, all eager to pick out Christmas gifts. Therese takes her place behind the counter, surrounded by dolls, toys, and garlands. She nearly disappears into this lively world when suddenly she lifts her gaze, and, in the distance, through the crowd, her eyes lock onto a woman. The woman who captures Therese's attention is Carol Aird. But abruptly, the moment shatters. A woman with a baby in her arms approaches Therese and asks where the restroom is. Therese politely explains, but when she turns back, Carol is gone. The one whose presence felt like a dream has vanished into thin air. And then, suddenly, Carol is there. She steps up to the counter, restrained, with the faintest hint of a smile, and begins asking about a doll she wants to buy for her daughter. Therese searches for the right model, but it's out of stock. Then Carol, watching her with a slight smirk, asks what Therese herself would have wanted as a child for Christmas. The question, tossed off so casually, stirs a real, living memory in Therese. She answers that she dreamed of a train set, and she adds a little more animatedly, there's a new model available, an exclusive, with fast delivery. Carol agrees. Their conversation ends simply, but something intangible lingers in the air. Therese processes the order. Carol prepares to leave. She takes a few steps, then turns back. From a distance, with a slight squint and a smile, she tells Therese that the hat suits her. The words sound almost intimate. Carol walks away, dissolving into the crowd. Therese remains standing, as if in a light trance. A moment later, she notices gloves left on the counter. Late at night, Therese sits at the table in her modest kitchen. In front of her, a white sheet of paper with an address neatly written in Carol's hand, and the leather gloves left on the counter. She hardly hesitates. She takes an envelope, slips the gloves and a note inside, and heads to the post office. Somewhere in a country house, Carol is brushing her little daughter Rindy's hair. Harge, her husband, now almost her ex, arrives. He brings the mail, mutters something under his breath, the tension between them palpable even in the simplest phrases. Harge asks her to come with him to a gathering with friends. Carol says she has other plans. But then, softly, she adds that she'll think about it. The next morning, at the store, Therese asks if the train set has been delivered. Everything has. And then, a phone call. The saleswoman calls Therese to the phone. She approaches, picks up the receiver. On the other end, a voice, deep, low, confident. It's Carol. She thanks her for the gloves, then almost casually yet warmly invites her to lunch. As a thank you. Therese feels her heart stop. She picks up a pen and writes down the address. The next day they meet and walk to the restaurant together. Carol, flawless, with striking features, eyes where danger and tenderness are mixed in perfect proportion. Her movements are slow, her voice, calm, slightly drawn out. Beside her, Therese is entirely different. Young, lost, delicate, her movements uncertain, her gaze expectant. Carol asks her questions, where her parents live, who they are, if there's someone in her life. Therese answers, but her voice is thin, almost a whisper. She wants to please, but doesn't know how. And suddenly, Carol, as if exposing the essence of the moment, says, "You're not an ordinary girl, as if you're not from this world." Carol invites her over for the weekend, and Therese agrees. After lunch, they step outside. Carol walks to her car, where Abby is already waiting. Turning, she looks at Therese with a faint half-smile, waves. Therese stands as if on the edge of a dream and waves back. Abby asks about Therese. "Who is that girl?" Carol replies that she's just a shop girl who returned her gloves, but in her voice, defensiveness. She doesn't want to share this. Later at the gathering, Harj dances with Carol. He tells her they can still go back, that things can be like before. Carol stays silent, smiling slightly, but in her eyes, cold resolve. There's no going back. Therese stands by the road waiting for Carol. Beside her, Richard, slightly agitated, he asks if it's safe to go so far, but Therese isn't thinking about that. When Carol pulls up, she gets in the car right away and introduces her to Richard. Carol nods politely, and then they drive off. Carol says she loves Christmas, loves the snow. Her voice is light and assured, as if she's just thinking aloud. Therese stays quiet. She steals glances at her, at the thin gloves, the neatly arranged hair, the elegant line of her neck, her lips. Everything about Carol draws her in. They stop to pick out a Christmas tree. Carol walks leisurely between the rows of trees. Therese takes out her camera and photographs her from afar, the light on her cheeks, the slight turn of her head, the shadow of a smile, as if she wants to stop time, keep her in this moment forever. They arrive at Carol's house. Therese sits at the piano. Her fingers hesitantly touch the keys. She tries to play something. Nearby, on the floor, Carol wraps a gift for Rindy. Suddenly, she asks, "Did you take a picture of me by the trees?" She explains that someone advised her to photograph people, to experiment, to be bolder. Her fingers touch the keys again. Carol walks up to her, leans down, and gently places her hands on her shoulders. And in that moment, Therese freezes. She abruptly stops playing. Carol steps back, picks up a music book, the joy of first-year piano, and says, "So this is who you want to be, a photographer." Carol asks to see Therese's work. Therese admits, embarrassed, that her photos aren't great, her camera is old, and she keeps them under the sink. Carol says sharply, yet with tenderness, that she's waiting for an invitation. Her eyes seem to lay everything bare. She wants to see Therese's inner world, unadorned. At that moment, the front door opens. It's Harj. Carol quickly walks to him. They talk in the kitchen, voices calm at first, then tense. He says he's taking Rindy to his mother's for Christmas. Carol says that's impossible. She doesn't want that. Their conversation, an old wound, reopened. Therese stands by the door watching. Harj notices her, steps closer, stares intently. His voice is sharp. "How do you know my wife?" Carol quickly explains that Therese just returned her lost gloves. A coincidence. Therese stays in the living room while Carol walks Rindy to the car. Harj stands by the curb, tense, cold. When Carol approaches, he suddenly grabs her shoulders. An argument flares between them. Carol pulls away sharply, and the man stumbles. He demands she get in the car, but she refuses. Harj drives off with the child. Carol returns to the house, tense, quiet, as if everything inside her has clenched in pain. Therese says she'll call a taxi. Carol pulls out a cigarette pack, empty. Therese offers to run and buy some, but Carol, unexpectedly sharp, says, "No need. I'll drive you myself." They ride in silence, not a word, only music and headlight reflections on the glass. At the station, Therese gets out. On the train, she cries. It hurts. Maybe she blames herself for what happened. Back home, Therese hears the phone ring. She picks up. It's Carol. Her voice is soft, warm, like breath in the dark. They speak tenderly, as if afraid to scare something fragile. Carol wants to come tomorrow. Both feel they need to be near each other. They want to truly know one another. The morning is gray and cold. Carol climbs the stairs to her lawyer's office, hiding her gloved hands, trying not to betray her inner tension. The lawyer greets her with concern. The custody agreement for Rindy has been altered. Harj now demands full custody. The lawyer advises her not to see her daughter for a while to avoid making things worse. It sounds like a verdict. She leaves the office, puts on her sunglasses, lights a cigarette. Pausing, she notices a camera in a shop window. Old-fashioned, heavy, the kind Therese might like. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Therese picks out a record, a Christmas gift for Carol. Something special, warm. Then she walks down the street with Richard. They talk. Therese says she wants to take photography seriously, find work at a newspaper or magazine. Richard, clinging to old dreams, asks if she's thinking about Europe. He says he dreams of going there with her, getting married. But Therese looks away sharply. She's not ready, not for this, not with him. Richard is confused. Therese just walks away. Meanwhile, Carol meets Abby. They need to talk. She tells her about the new turn in the fight for Rindy, Harge's decision, how she can't even hug her daughter now. Abby listens carefully. She says Therese is still very young, that Carol should be careful. But Carol, with a faint half-smile, admits she never knew what she was doing anyway. In this admission, not weakness, but unexpected freedom. That evening, Carol arrives at Therese's place. On the doorstep, a box containing a camera, a Christmas gift. Carol steps inside and looks at Therese's photographs. But Therese feels uneasy. Her tiny apartment, the scuffed walls, the furniture, everything seems out of place next to where Carol comes from. They go up to the roof. Wind, city lights, stars. Carol says she wants to leave, just disappear for a while, and she asks Therese to come with her. Therese agrees, without hesitation, because now she has someone she's choosing. The next morning, she packs her things. Richard is shocked. He doesn't understand how she can just drop everything. They argue. He leaves. Therese stands outside Carol's house. The suitcases are already in the trunk. The car drives off into the unknown, but it's an unknown with Carol. The road is long. They stop to eat at a diner. Therese gives Carol the record. As Carol unwraps it, Therese lifts the camera, wanting to capture the moment, but Carol waves her off, not wanting to be photographed. Therese takes her hand, gently lays it on the table, says she's beautiful. Carol freezes. Their eyes meet. Therese presses the shutter. Click. Meanwhile, Harge visits Abby. He's sure Carol is with her, but Abby coolly says she doesn't know where she is. He leaves empty-handed. At the next motel, they're offered 2 separate rooms or a presidential suite. Therese, surprisingly confident, suggests the suite. Inside, the room is spacious, luxurious. Therese goes for ice, and a man offers to help. Later, in the room, Therese turns on music. She and Carol sit at the table. Their cheeks are lightly made up just for fun. They laugh. Carol tells Therese she's beautiful, then sprays perfume on her wrists and neck, leans toward Therese, offering her to smell it. Therese freezes and takes a sip of whiskey. That night, Therese can't sleep. She watches Carol sleeping peacefully. Inside her, overwhelming tenderness. The next morning at the diner, the same man who helped with the ice approaches Therese. Just then, Carol appears, sits beside her, studies him. He introduces himself as Tucker, says he sells scientific supplies. When Carol asks if he has anything interesting for them, he says probably not. They drive on toward Chicago. The weather is sunny, the window slightly open, the car growing warm. Therese helps Carol take off her coat. They laugh, talk. Everything between them feels natural now. In Chicago, they check into a hotel. The room is luxurious with tall curtains and cozy armchairs. Therese is in awe. Carol is tired from the drive and falls asleep. Later, they go down to the restaurant. Carol slips away to make a call. Therese gets a letter from Richard. Inside, like remnants of a past life. Later, they stop at a motel in Iowa. Carol walks up to Therese, grabs a beer and says, "Happy New Year." She gently places her hands on her shoulders, says she usually spent the holiday alone. Harge always cared more about business. Therese admits she used to spend it alone too, but not this time. Carol unties her robe, watches Therese's reflection in the mirror. Therese turns to her. Their lips meet. The kiss. like a flash, like liberation. The night passes in passion and tenderness. Carol whispers in her ear, "My angel," as if not from this world. The next morning, Carol goes down to the front desk, where the clerk tells her a telegram arrived the night before. After reading it, Carol immediately runs to the car, pulls out a gun, and heads to the neighboring room. The door is ajar. She steps inside and sees Tucker, the same man they'd crossed paths with earlier. Carol understands everything. He's been listening. She demands he hand over the recordings, but Tucker calmly says they've already been sent to her husband. For a moment, Carol raises the gun, but then realizes she can't. She can't shoot. Therese reads the telegram, then follows Carol out. They drive off. In the car, Carol stays silent until finally asking what Therese is thinking. Therese, unable to hold back, says this is all her fault. She shouldn't have come. Carol is suffering because of her. But Carol replies calmly, firmly, "That's not true. You're not to blame." They stop at a hotel. Carol calls Abby. Therese prepares to sleep in her own bed, but Carol softly says she doesn't have to sleep alone. Therese lies beside her. They hold each other, kiss, as if for the last time. In their embrace, tenderness, longing, love, and the fear of loss. The next morning, Therese opens her eyes to find Carol gone. Abby sits in the chair. Therese asks, "Will Carol come back?" Abby silently shakes her head. At the diner, she hands Therese a letter. Therese immediately runs outside, opens the envelope. Carol writes that they must part, asks her not to be angry, to understand. Someday. Therese's heart shatters. Abby drives her home. Therese returns to her tiny apartment, empty and dull. She throws herself into work, develops the film with her photos. Among them, the picture of Carol. The impact is piercing. Therese picks up the phone and dials. "Carol, I miss you," she says. On the other end, silence. She waits, but there's no answer. Time passes. Therese renovates her apartment. Danny helps. He looks at her photos, admires them, says she has real talent, suggests she build a portfolio, introduces her to the right people. Meanwhile, Carol has lunch at Harge's house with his family. Everything feels foreign, but she comes for Rindy, only for her. When the girl arrives, Carol can't hold back, rushes to the car, lifts her into her arms. Her heart fills with love and pain at once. When Abby visits Carol, she talks about how hard these meetings with Harge and his mother are, that she only does it for Rindy. Abby asks about Therese, but Carol doesn't know. Only guesses she might be working at the Times now. In her eyes, regret. Her voice breaks as she says, "I wish I'd asked her to wait, told her to give me time." The next morning, Carol rides in a taxi, gazing out the window. The street looks familiar. Suddenly, she spots Therese crossing the road. Everything inside her stills, all the feelings return. Carol realizes she still loves her, with her whole soul. Nothing has passed. Later, Carol attends the custody hearing. Harge's lawyer says they're demanding full custody because Carol sleeps with women, and that's a sickness. The words cut through the air. Carol stays silent, then lifts her eyes and firmly declares she won't fight anymore. Rindy will stay with her father, but she demands visitation regularly. She walks out, not giving them victory, not letting them destroy her. Later, at a cafe, Carol writes a letter to Therese, simple, warm. "I want to talk to you. Over a cup of tea." Therese reads it and comes to meet her. At the restaurant, Carol sees Therese sitting at the table. She sits across from her, and immediately, between them, tension, delicate, trembling, like electricity under the skin. They look at each other. Time has passed, but the feelings haven't gone anywhere. They don't disappear. Carol says she and Harge are selling the house, that she lives in a new apartment now. And she got a job. It all sounds calm, mundane, but in every word, hidden hope. Carol nods slightly as if expecting this, looks into Therese's eyes, then says very simply, without defense, "I love you." The words land between them like a drop in still water. Therese loses her breath. She feels everything inside her breaking and coming alive at the same time. And in that moment, Jack appears. He calls her over, approaches as if nothing happened. Says there's a party at Phil's. Wanna go? Carol stands, places a hand on Therese's shoulder, a final gesture, like a touch before falling into an abyss. Her hand, warm, strong, alive. Therese can't move. Carol walks away. At the party, Therese sits with Jack's friends. Someone laughs, someone plays music. But to her, it all feels alien. She isn't here. Her heart beats dully in her chest. With every minute, the growing sense, I'm not where I should be. And suddenly, she stands, puts on her coat, steps into the night. A taxi, cold glass, the city blurring outside. The address is in her head, her heart, her body. She goes. She enters the restaurant. It's crowded, noise, light, movement. She walks slowly, pausing. Her eyes search, catch faces, silhouettes, shoulders. And then, she sees her. Carol. She's laughing, her profile soft in the lamplight, her hair spilling over her shoulders. She's beautiful, not ostentatiously, but deeply, piercingly. Therese stops. Everything around her stills. Music, footsteps, voices, all fade. There's only her and Carol. Carol turns her head, notices Therese. Their eyes meet, and in that moment, everything becomes real. No masks, no defenses, no pretense. In their gazes, acknowledgement, a hand reaching across time, everything left unsaid, everything lost, everything that still could be.